What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Crimson, and today we have our week 1 Team Builder Plus battle for the NPA. So yeah, we're going up against the, I don't know how to pronounce this, the Longueuil Scrafties. I tried. Unfortunately, that's not a place I'm aware of, so you know, I can't really pronounce that. Anyway, we got 6 mons to counter his team, which is Weavile, Nidoking, Galvantula, Registeel, Quagsire, Meowstic, Mega Beedrill, Zygarde 50%, Dugtrio, Entei, and Virizion. A very solid team. He's also the person that took the Galvantula away from me. Oh wait, no he's not. Wait, yes he is. I'm kidding. It's right there. Yeah, he took that thing really early, so I didn't get my Weber. But this team's super solid. I'm super happy about it. But the biggest threat... Okay, so here's the team I'm going to predict him to bring. I think he definitely brings Weavile. Nidoking for sure. I don't have walls on this team, so I can understand that. I'd see Mega Beedrill. I'd say Registeel, Galvantula for sure. Then either Zygarde 50 or Entei. Nah, I think he's going to bring Zygarde 50 over Entei. Because if Zygarde 50 gets the chance to set up one Dragon Dance, it's potentially deadly for my team. Or even if it's just like banded and webbed her up, that also destroys my team. Okay, so I got my team of 6 here. First off, I got the lead Raichu, or what's supposed to be the lead Raichu, if there's a Galvantula, because this is my way to beat Galvantula. We have the Fake Out, Natural Gift Fire, Grass Knot, and Volt Switch. Grass Knot for the Quagsire, Fake Out to break the sash on Galvantula, Natural Gift Fire to blow it away, and Volt Switch to gain momentum into my wall breakers like I talked about in my team builder. This team's very like one-dimensional. Obviously it's just a way to get momentum into sweepers. But obviously Ganlon Berry is the best natural gift berry. It's the base 100 power one. But I have to run Block because Ganlon isn't released yet. So I'm running the base 90 power berry, which should still kill Galvantula after Fake Out plus Natural Gift Fire. Here, let me pull up a calc. What was the berry called? Oh, Block, that's right. So basically the reason I have a whole counter lead to this Galvantula, oh shit, here, they don't have a Blockberry on this for some reason. Let's just put Fire Punch at base 90 power. It's the same effect. So the only reason I have a lead counter to Galvantula on is obviously because if I don't have speed, I'm not winning this match, because I have the 2 walls, and sure, they're decent walls, but one of them doesn't get recovery, so it's more of like a pivot. Okay, so we have the base 90 power of Fire Punch plus Fake Out. And let's get the Galvantula up here. So Fake Out does a minimum of 18%, and Fire Punch does a minimum of 82%. So this is a guaranteed kill on the Galvantula. So this is my way to counter it. Obviously, I'm not going to predict around with this thing. If he leads it, I'm just clicking the Natural Gift. I don't know if he's going to expect that or not. I wouldn't. Okay, so next up, we have the Mega Medicham, because let's look at his team, right? Weavile dies, Nidoking dies, Galvantula dies, Registeel dies, Quagsire dies, Meowstic dies, Mega Beedrill dies, Zygarde dies, Dugtrio dies, Entei dies, and Virizion dies. Point being, no switching. Fake Out Bullet Punch does like 70% to like everything on his team. Then there's High Jump Kick and Ice Punch. Obviously, I believe Quagsire actually takes one high jump kick, but if I can fake it out and then high jump kick it, that deals with it. I have to be careful if he wants to bring like protect on some stuff, because that's obviously really annoying when you're trying to spam high jump kick. Next up we have a Scarf Volcarona with the Fire Blast, Giga Drain, U-Turn, and HP Ice. This is a very weird move spread. Oh, hold up, I forgot. EV spread on Raichu, max attack, 16 defense, and enough speed to speed creep a Galvantula. Next up we have the max speed Mega Medicham. Max attack, max speed, obviously. Okay, now we have the Volcarona. We have enough speed on this set to outspeed a Zygarde 50% after one Dragon Dance. HP Ice blows it away. Well, it doesn't blow it away, but it does like 80-ish%, into which that's Raichu Revenge Kill range, I believe. Well, it depends on his spread, really. I'm going to show you the Dragon Dance set. My bad. So obviously I needed something to beat this. Yeah, look at that damage. That's in fake out range. So yeah, I needed something to beat Zygarde, and I didn't have much to beat it. So I decided to bring a Scarf Volcarona. Obviously I could have brought something else scarfed. Like I could have brought, I don't know. What else do I have on my team that's good? Kieran Black would force a Speed Tie. Scarf Starmie. That sounds like a trash set though. So the HP Ice did around like 78 to 92, I believe is what the calc said. Fake out does 10 to 12. And if all of that doesn't kill, I'm almost certain I'm going to have rocks up, so that should be around a guaranteed KO. Next up, we have... Okay, so obviously, yeah, this is, I said, the Zygarde 50% counter. It's also very good at late game sweeping, as he doesn't really have a good Fire Blast switch in that isn't Quagsire, which dies to Giga Drain. Obviously, I'm going to be scarfed into one, but it's a good spread for, dealing with it, if I can predict the switch in. Next up, we have a semi-bulky Snubble. Got Fire Punch, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Heal Bell. The Kabia Berry to weaken the poison damage, or a poison attack from the Nidoking. This is my semi-Nidoking counter check thing. So the EQ kills the Nidoking, and the Sludge Wave does not do enough to kill me. It does like, I think like 70%, 70 to 80-ish%. Max special attack, modest life orb, I believe is what I calced. So yeah, enough speed to outspeed a Registeel, so I can get a little bit of chip off before I go down. This bulk, natural bulk to help me tank attacks. Max attack adamant, so I can kill the Nidoking. Intimidate's really nice. Obviously, yeah, that's about it with the spread. Heal Bell is super important because he can toss around status with his Registeel, as well as Galvantula Thunders like Tepera. Meowstic is super annoying because it'll just T-Wave the entire team. So this is there in case that becomes super annoying. Next up, I have the Starmie, Colbur Berry for the Weavile. It's like a semi-check. The Analytic HP Fighting is the only way I have to kill it without being outsped by some things like Galvantula, because I'd have to be modest in order for Hydro Pump to kill. Like modest life orb or something like that. But I can't, because then knockoff would kill me. So I have to be Colbur HP Fighting Analytic. It's some weird spread, but it does its job in countering. It's got Rapid Spin, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump. Just hits his whole team, really. It's some solid coverage. Max special attack, max speed, enough speed to speed creep the Galvantula / Virizion, and the rest tossed into defense. Next up, we just have the max bulk Miltank, a fully physically bulky Miltank, because the only real special threats on his team is like Nidoking, Galvantula, which I have my lead check against, and that's really about it. Everything else is basically going to be physical, except maybe Virizion or Entei, which I can understand a special set. But yeah, Obviously, he doesn't have too many special threats, so this is a decent matchup for Grand Bull Miltank core. Literally, Grand Bull plus Miltank, I believe, can wall every member on his team just by themselves, except for Nidoking. And I'm just probably going to have to revenge kill somehow. Obviously, I don't have any speed investment. I'm just fully bulky with Toxic, Seismic Toss, Stealth Rocks, and Milk Drink. This spread loses to Registeel, but, you know, if he has Registeel, I'm usually going to make the play out into something like Volcarona. It's very safe switching. Unless he's running like Rock Slide on his Registeel, and that would be solid prep. And I can just go into Medicham right after and probably shit on his neck. So, yeah, that's the team. Let's hop right into the battle. So as you can see, surprisingly enough, no webs against this super offensive team. Also no Mega Beedrill, which is surprising. As well as, what else? What else did I say was coming? Said either Zygarde 50 or Entei. He actually brought both. The very ice weak team, which HP Ice Volcarona could be able to do work with, as well as Ice Beam Starmie. So let's go ahead and start this battle real quick. Obviously it's a replay, I'm sorry. This weekend has kind of been pretty busy, as well as last weekend. Well, not really last weekend. This weekend more so than last, because obviously Easter weekend, so I've been pretty busy trying to do schoolwork and whatnot. I might be able to do some more live battles next week, though. Assuming that, you know, I've done all my schoolwork. But, you know, procrastination for the win. Anyway, let's start. He leads Entei, I lead Starmie, and this is super good for me. The only reason I lead Starmie is it beats everything on his team. Zygarde dies. Meowstic is the only problem, which I don't expect him to lead with. And if he does, I make the play to, like, Raichu. Weavile, beat it with HP Fighting Set. Entei, Hydro Pump it. Nidoking, Hydro Pump it. And Virizion, he's probably scared out. Okay, so initially I'm going to swap out predicting him to want to switch into, like, Weavile, I think it is. Yeah, I predicted him to want to switch out into Weavile. He makes the play into Meowstic, so this isn't particularly bad. Obviously, a Bug Buzz probably scares him, but I don't want to click U-turn here because Prankster T-Wave, and I don't want Volcarona to get neutered. So I just hard out into Raichu, predicting a T-Wave. He gets his screens up. So, this is kind of annoying, because I really didn't calc anything with screens, and this team kind of gets shit on by screens. So I have to, like, wear out these screens somehow, so I'm just chipping down the Meowstic real quick. It's not lefties, which is important, which means it's almost guaranteed Light Clay. So I'm going to Volt Switch out here, go hard into Miltank, tank the Signal Beam. And then here, I'm just going to start Seismic Tossing, I believe. Oh no, I get my rocks up first. Now I believe I go for either a Seismic Toss or a Toxic. I'm pretty sure it was a Toxic, though, as he goes into Virizion. Obviously, that was a pretty obvious offensive switch in, and I could have made the play into, like, Volcarona. But, you know, Miltank's doing its job, setting up hazards, getting Toxic Chip. This isn't particularly bad either. So predicting him to want to go for the close combat, I'm going to make the play hard into my Grand Bull. It's pretty solid at tanking hits. So now he's going to want to switch out because he's in a terrible situation. I could understand a Nidoking switch out here. But he makes the play right back out into Meowstic, which is good because he's letting me wear this thing down. Just like that, it's already at 50%. I go back into Miltank because I believe a Seismic Toss after... Like, if I Seismic Toss, he can't switch back in. Not too sure about that. So he's going to make the play right back out into Zygarde as I go for the Seismic Toss here. And at this point, my team is completely healthy. Like, have I even taken damage so far? Yeah, I took a little bit on Grand Bull, and I think everything else on my team is actually just full health right now. So it's clearly a rough start for him, as I'm going to make the play into Volcarona, hard into Volcarona, predicting him to want to get the Dragon Dance up here. Obviously, I'm the Scarf HP Ice, so this kills at this range, and he just goes down. So Volcarona is already putting work in, but obviously now he knows I'm Scarfed, so he's going to make the play into Entei. I'm going to make the play into the Thick Fat Miltank, as it walls the hell out of this thing. As you're going to see, I think that's Choice Band. No, that's Life Orb damage, right? That does 20%. He's going to make the play out into Virizion as I get some Seismic Toss chip. And expecting the obvious close combat, I'm just going to make the play back out into Granbull. And this is working out for me surprisingly well, as he's going to die to the combination of Life Orb recoil plus toxic damage. So that's a kill for Miltank and a kill for Volcarona so far. It's going to go out hard Nidoking, and at this range, I do not live a Sludge Bomb, or Sludge Wave, Life Orb Sheer Force. So I'm going to make the play out into Raichu, because this is literally death fodder, as there's no Galvantula. Loses to literally everything else on his team. So I go out hard into it. I click Fake Out, wear it down a little bit. And this tells me he's a Scarf Nidoking right here, because he outspeeds me. So knowing that he's a Scarf Nidoking, I can make the play out into my, I believe, Scarf Volcarona. Here, let me pull up the calc. Volcarona. Depending on his bulk, Fire Blast should be able to kill from around here. Hidden Power Ice doesn't kill, but it does a solid amount. It does, yeah, 56 to 66. So I'm not going to be locking myself into HP Ice, but rather just Fire Blasting whatever wants to come in, as he has really no switching. Entei gets, what is it, 2-hit KO'd from like the 40%, I think it's at, right? Or it's at like 60, but after Rocks, I believe it gets 2-hit KO'd, so that's not coming in. He's just going to sack the Meowstic, which is a relief, because that monster, or it's not a monster, but it threatens the team with Prankster T-Wave as well as Screens. So glad to see that thing go down. In comes Entei. So yeah, it was at 60-ish. After Rocks, it's at 41. That was 2-hit KO'd by Fire Blast. So now I'm forced to switch, predicting either a Stone Edge or like whatever he wants to click here. Miltank still walls the hell out of it. He goes for the E-Speed, and he's at 31%. Hold up, did a Volcarona Fire Blast just kill from there? Didn't think it did, but that would be like the only reason he clicked E-Speed. Yeah, it didn't. I made the right play switching out, thankfully. If I had lost that because I didn't attack what was in front of me, that would have been kind of sad. So yeah, Miltank tanks that as well. And he goes hard Weavile, so I get the Seismic Toss chip on it. And here, Miltank, Thick Fat, walls this thing. He's going to knock me off. I'm going to Seismic Toss him, put him at... Oh, no, I'm going to Milk Drink first. Hold up. Now he's going to Low Kick me as I Seismic Toss him. And he's at 9%, so he can't switch into Rocks. Miltank's actually putting in a good chunk of work right now, wearing his team down. But as you're going to see, he low kicks, I get full parried. He goes for it again, I get full parried. And at this point, I try to save differential by switching out. Obviously, there's no point in staying in, because I have a perfectly good switch into low kick in Volcarona, as well as literally anything else he wants to click, except knockoff, which would have been kind of risky, to be honest. I also had the Granbull in the back, which was also going to wall the hell out of this, which I believe is what I actually went into, because I didn't want to risk the knockoff. But he gets me with the Pursuit. And you turn out with the Scarf Volcarona, just making sure he knows it's Scarfed. But this is solid, because it gives me momentum into the Medicham. He goes hard Nidoking. And this, it wasn't a roll, but it was almost enough to kill. Fake Out plus Bullet Punch here. But it comes to the point where I know Volcarona can tank any one hit from full, even like a Sludge Wave, Earth Power, whatever, as long as it's not like a rock move, which I don't think he'd be clicking on a Medicham anyway. So I go hard out into Volcarona as he reveals to be Shadow Ball. And Volcarona just walls that. So at this point I know HP Ice kills from this range, and HP Ice will kill the Entei after rocks, so no point in risking a miss, as he just goes hard Entei, because this game's over anyway. And he probably wants to scarf himself into something else, but even though it's not going to matter, he was probably hoping for like a miss or something. But the HP Ice is enough to kill that too. So Volcarona is going to pick up 5 kills in this match. A very weird way for a Volcarona to sweep in a Scarf Volcarona. But not even Quiver Dance. Just regular Scarfold Volcarona. But it was super clutch, because I almost ran a modest one, which would have been outsped by a +1 Zygarde. And that would have been super bad. Thankfully I changed my mind and sped crept the Zygarde instead of just going modest Scarf for more damage output, which wasn't going to be super helpful anyway. Because if Zygarde got +1, my entire team probably lost to it except for Granbull. Obviously, I could have played around it with Granbull's Intimidate, but it just would have been kind of hard to do. So, Volcarona came in pretty clutch. That's about all I have to say, though. Solid match to my opponent. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Crimson. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.